Hey, Morgan SLV here. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go over a couple things today. First of all, gold and silver. Gold, 1201. Silver, 1833. It's 66 to 1. It's August 9th, 2010. I've entitled this YouTube clip, Not Deflation. And here's why I'm saying that. Real estate prices are falling just because the prices are too high. When the average person with an average job can buy an average price home in the U.S., okay, then the prices will be correct. At this time, at least in my area, I'm in Northern California, it's not that way. Stock prices are falling as well. What I mean by that is if you price your portfolios in other stuff other than our currency, you'll notice that they're going down and not up. Now, not every day. I understand, nothing goes straight down, nothing goes straight up. But what I'm saying is the overall trend is that it's dropping. As far as deflation, so let's go over inflation again. Inflation is, in a nutshell, an increase in the money supply, period. If you look it up in the dictionary, that's what it is. Now, I understand, so you're sitting there saying, well, yeah, but it hasn't hit us yet. Well, let's go over that. There's no contraction of the money supply. It's growing like flipping crazy, right? We know that. The expansion of money, the expansion of the money supply is not immediately showing up because there are temporary forces that are holding the inflation back and pushing prices down. At the same time, inflation is pushing prices up. And what's going on? Here's a couple of the things right here. You've got deleveraging, you've got bankruptcies, you've got business sales, you've got a temporarily strong dollar. When this dollar, right, starts going south because China has done bailing us out and whatnot, and some of these other countries decide, hey, you guys are just Bernanke, you guys are smoking some really good Fruit Loops, and we're not going to be a party to it anymore. Our dollar is going to tumble and tumble fast. Bottom line, when this crisis began, money was flooding into the U.S. instead of out of it. And here's what's kind of funny, like Peter Schiff talks about, here's the bottom line. At this moment in time, if you take a small snapshot, if you imagine a large boom going off, right, in some area, say a football field, everybody kind of runs away from that boom, right? Now, it doesn't mean there's not another boom going to happen out in the parking lot. They don't know. They don't know if there's another bomb out there or whatever, right? So they're just kind of running from one bad place to possibly another place that's just as bad, as far as they know. And that's kind of what they're doing. When they run to the dollar, so to speak, one of the things that was said, I think it was by Robert Kiyosaki, he said, we're just the best looking horse at the glue factory. What a joke, right? I mean, it's kind of funny. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to see collapse. I don't want to see my neighbor with a worried look on his face. I really don't. But one of the things that I do want to do is I want to pester you to study, man. Frickin', if you get anything out of what I've been saying over the last few months, study your ass off. I'm just telling you. We can't have everyone broke. I think I'm going to make a t-shirt, and that's what it's going to say. Everyone can't be broke, right? You need to study. Let's get back to this. As far as the rest of the planet goes, one of the reasons the rest of the planet is kind of so messed up is, number one, we talked them into taking our currency as the world reserve currency, right? Oops. We're also crowding out other businesses around the world. We're borrowing so much capital that there isn't capital left for them, according to Peter Schiff. Makes sense. As far as what could happen in the future, if we go into a hyper state of inflation, not necessarily Zimbabwe type inflation, but if it gets super bad, or if it gets like the 70s, I was telling you, when we had price controls on milk and the farmers were pouring the milk down the drain. Wow, I couldn't believe that as a little kid who really liked milk, right? For my cereal and whatnot. You could have long lines for food and gas. Let's go back to the Depression. In the Depression, we had a depression because the Fed was too easy in the 20s and created a boom. Hoover ignored the advice of the Secretary of the Treasury, and instead of letting the free market work, came up with all kinds of crazy things, bailing out people, distorting prices, fixing wages. That created the Great Depression, right? If they'd have let the free market go, yeah, it would have been bad, and it might even have been a little bit worse for a short period of time. But I don't know about you. If somebody's ripping a Band-Aid off, I don't want it to take 5 hours. Just rip the damn thing off, right? Let's get it over with. I mean, if we have you know what getting ready to hit the fan, I say let's get it over with. Let's get it over with now before we're all so damn weak we can't withstand it, right? We have a hole in our boat. Let's not let the hole get 3 times as big and then have the tidal wave hit us. Let's do it now. That's my vote. Roosevelt made it worse. He expanded the same policies, right, as his predecessor. When Hoover left office, the budget was $4 billion. When Roosevelt left the office, he had doubled it, and now we are at $3 trillion. It's probably more than that because it's a little bit of this material is a little bit dated. So the bottom line is, like I say, you know, when I go to the dentist and he says, "Hey, we got to pull this tooth," I don't want him taking all day to do that. It's going to be painful enough, right? What am I going to do? Stand there with an anchor hanging off of it? Rip the damn thing out. I say we rip it out now. One of the things that Peter Schiff said on one of his videos, I might have been even when we were talking on the phone, I can't remember. He said this: "Look, if we don't need a hyperinflation to make things so uncomfortable, you know, as to really want to change." He's saying, "Hey, you know, we could have inflation where the first number isn't a 1, right? And for how," he goes, "you go through that 4, 5, or 6 years, you're wiped out anyway." Well, my bottom line is this: we're all in a weakened state right now. All of us, even the big players are, you know, a lot of the big players that I knew that were making $250,000 a month, you know, $80,000 a month, $100,000 a month. These guys, you know, I'm telling you, some of them are losing everything, right? But here's the deal. The longer this goes, like a slow-burning cigarette, the worse it gets when the tidal wave finally hits. So my vote is, if it's going to happen, let's get it over with. Let's just get it over with. The other thing is, you need to be prepared, so study up, right? Kiyosaki, Maloney, Schiff, right? You guys need to study up on these guys. I'm telling you right now, study up, get your precious metals in order. I am telling you right now, if things work out even a little bit like I am saying, you guys are watching me get wealthy, and I want you to be wealthy on the other side of the fence, okay? We're getting ready to jump this hurdle. Whether you want to or not, you are on the flippin' roller coaster. It has left the station. The train has left the station. You are on it. Get prepared. I don't care if you buy a 10-ounce flippin' bar of silver and stick it under a pillow, right? Be prepared. You need to study. Study, study, study. Hey man, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but I really appreciate all of your viewership. Please comment on anything. Hey, I finally got the hot rod out. It's on my last video. I've been promising to do that. I didn't do a burnout with it, but we fired it up, and you know, it's been sitting for about 6 months under a cover. And you know, I'll get that out every once in a while. You got to smile, right? You got to have something that makes you smile, and that's what makes me smile once in a while. Meanwhile, we're going to head over to the Apple store right now and check out some new computers because we're going to change over to Macs, I believe. But anyway, please study up, and we'll talk to you next time. Morgan SLV out.